Running a specific test case in Django when your app has a test directory. The Django documentation, this URL, says that you can run individual test cases by specifying them. This assumes that you have your tests in a test.py file in your Django application. If this is true, then this command works like expected. I have my tests for a Django application in a test directory. The test/_py file has a suite function. To run the tests I do. Trying to specify an individual test case raises an exception. I tried to do what the exception message said. How do I specify an individual test case when my tests are in multiple files?
Check out Django knows. This allows you to specify tests to run like. Or as noted in comments, use the syntax.
I was having this problem myself and found this question. In case anyone else comes along, here was what I dug up. The Django test pseudorunner uses a method called build_test label that figures out what test cases to run based on the label. Looking into this method, it turns out they are doing a gettr on either the models or test module. This means if you return a suite, the test runner isn't looking for your test cases in that suite, it only looks in one of those modules. A quick workaround is to use __init__.py to import your tests directly instead of defining a suite. That makes them part of the test module, and so build_test label can find them. For your example above, tests __init__.py should simply contain. This isn't very elegant, and of course if you're trying to do something more complicated with your suite, then this won't work, but it would for this case.
Since Django 1.6 you can run a complete test case, or single test, using the complete dot notation for the element you want to run. Automatic test discovery will now find tests in any file that starts with test under the working directory, so addressing the question, you would have to rename your files, but you can now keep them inside the directory you want. If you want to use custom file names, you can specify a pattern, default Django test runner, with the option flag pattern equals my_pattern_**.py. So if you are in your manage.py directory and want to run the test_a inside test case subclass or inside a file tests.py under the app module example, you would do. If you don't want to include a dependency and are in Django 1.6 or later, that's how you do it. See the Django documentation for more information.
This should work.
If you want to support the channel, please consider liking and subscribing.